fans out there. This is Leigh with Coda Country on this episode of Coda Country Chats. Today, we have a TikTok viral star, but she's been making music a long time before this. If you've never heard of her, I can't wait to introduce you to Madison Hughes. How are you today, Madison?
Hey, y'all. Great to be here. Got my homemade latte this morning. I am doing great.
Enjoying it. I don't know if it's like pretty dreary where you are, but it's like a rainy day here and just kind of gross outside. So,
Are you in Tallahassee?
no, but I'm close.
Ooh.
So yeah, I live like my home base is like an hour north of Tallahassee. So yeah, for the listeners out there, Madison is originally from Florida. So she and I have like a Florida State joining of souls, I guess you could say. So yeah, I reached out to Madison after finding her on TikTok and hearing all of her awesome songs that she has released, just to get her on the show and talk to you about everything that you have going on.
Cool.
So I guess let's start at the top and kind of work our way down. And I've got some notes here that I usually take notes too, so don't be offended if I'm like looking down and writing away. Mainly, so let's talk about the two TikTok videos, Instagram reels that have kind of gone viral for you. The first one being a cover of Morgan Wallen's "I Deserve a Drink." Tell me, what inspired you to record that cover, to make the video, that kind of thing?
Yeah, when I listened to his album, that song was always stood out to me. I was like, this is a special song. It just hits me super emotionally. And I was just in my room one day like, I want to cover that song. It just dawned on me. And I had like tried playing it earlier that day and it wasn't working. And then I just sat down on my bed with the posters behind me and just had the camera on, thankfully, and was like, I'm just gonna change up the style, like, and not try to copy what he's doing exactly. But the song really resonated with me because the story of the song kind of was what I was going through. So the song is a metaphor, like I deserve a drink, not a real drink, but you have a certain crush or a person, certain dynamic. And so I guess people could see the emotion I was putting forth through the video, and it translated on the other side of the screen, which is really cool. And I was sort of late to the TikTok game. I didn't jump on in COVID times when a lot of people got on early. I started
same. I didn't
last
do that.
year. Yeah. And so
Cool.
it proves to you can still go viral in 2023. It's amazing. It's like 100,000 people have made videos to that song now of like lip syncing along. Yeah. So I've just never seen anything like this before. So that was wild.
And in doing my research this morning, I saw that you have like almost 1 million streams of this song on Spotify. Like that is crazy. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. But like it's amazing to see how that one cover of a song has kind of like boosted the rest of your streams of your music. Yep. I know that you put out some singles like kind of along the way throughout this year, starting with let's see.
Was the whiskey one?
Yes. Yeah. You or the whiskey back in March, and then you had Our Love in April 2024 or April 23. And then tell me, okay, so a little bit about your original music too, just because we'll go back and I'll bounce back to your album of renditions in 2022. But talk to me about you starting to release your own music and how that's going and all that kind of stuff. Because we talked a little bit before the interview started about how you found your own producer and you've kind of made your own way in releasing all these songs. I'd love to hear all about the process of getting it done.
Yeah, so I moved to Nashville like 2 years ago, and the first whole year I was there, I was really just kind of, I don't want to say dilly-dallying around, but just kind of shy, like stayed in my house a lot. I was like scared to go out to the writers' rounds and all the venues around Nashville. Didn't really believe in myself. Even there was like enough for me just to move to Nashville. That was enough like confidence for me at the time. But I didn't start really making original music that I wanted to until after the Voice journey, which was the second year into Nashville. So after that voice journey, it was like a mad rush to like go find my own producers, songwriters, mainly those two things, because I do my own video content and things like that.
Yeah, awesome.
So yeah, like you just kind of research on Spotify, like, oh, so and so wrote, you know, Broken Halos, I'm gonna reach out to him, and then I just kept doing that. And then the producer situation, we were already friends with both of these teams, and so that was a cool thing that was already there. So I think it's also overrated to like lust after like, oh, I want to work with Morgan Wallen's producer or John Party's producer. Like,
right, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's a lot of people in Nashville. Maybe you move there and you think that's the golden ticket, but definitely like just pave your own way. And everyone's path has been so different that I've asked like other artists in Nashville, and that's the biggest thing I take away. Like I try to like always ask questions, and they're just like, hey, it's gonna be different for every person, so you just gotta keep finding your own way, I guess.
Yeah, you called yourself a DIY musician, and that makes so much sense to me, because it's like you constantly have to get your foot in the door, because sometimes like no one's gonna do it for you.
Yeah,
you know. And so that's really inspiring to hear that you've kind of paved your own way. Like
like you don't necessarily need to be signed to a publishing deal or management deal or record deal. Like just use Instagram DM, use an email, and then obviously keep posting on TikTok for any artists out there. That is find your own thing. Like I do my, you know, where I sit outside and film myself, and and the DIY part is I have this microphone, I have this interface, if you can see it, and then I have my computer. So it's like those are the main three aspects you need to self-record in your own music. And especially if people like the stripped down sound, you don't need a whole producer team at the moment. You can just do it yourself now, because TikTok people love that. They just like the super authentic, super stripped down. Yeah, do it yourself until you can't do it anymore.
No, that's awesome to hear. So I'm gonna go back in time a little bit and talk about some of the other songs that you have on your Spotify discography. So before you kind of found your way into this like country, folk, indie, stripped down acoustic versions of songs that you've created, you've had this like little vibe of hip hop, R&B. I think like the first song that I found from you was back in 2016. Tell me, what was happening in 2016 that had you recording some songs like this?
I think so. This 2016 was when I first started on SoundCloud, and the first song I ever put up was called "How Come," and the song was about how come we're through with this little boyfriend situation in high school. And then ever since then, my roommate Liv introduced me to Bryson Tiller and Drake. I was like, "Whoa, this music's really good." So I started doing covers of their songs and uploading on SoundCloud, and I would like remix the lyrics. Because SoundCloud would allow that, but Spotify doesn't do like remix songs. But then I started doing my own originals, so finding YouTube instrumentals or like going on beatstars.com and finding like Summer Walker type beat or SZA type beat and like singing over them. Because a lot of my music taste growing up was so influenced by like this the kind of the modern R&B and even some Afro beats and some like Jamaica based music. But I definitely did grow up on classic rock and the folk rock and, you know, what your parents grew up listening to. So I eventually circled back around till like after The Voice now. Because up until then, I mean, I was just kind of playing around. I wasn't like, I'm an R&B artist. Yeah, that's who I am. I was never like came out and announced like, this is what I am. And it feels like even now, it's like, I'm only just now discovering like what I'm trying to be known for. And it's still, it's like, I don't want to say I'm just a, you know, regular country artist, because country is now changing. But if you had to put in, you know, one umbrella term, I do use country because you do have to have at least some kind of box. Because sometimes I just like naturally sound country, even if I'm singing like a classic rock song or something. So
yeah. But I know what you mean though. Like the timbre, the quality of your voice is a little more folky, a little more. I call it smoky, but like I hate to call it smoky because you know what I mean though. But like, yeah, and not raspy, but like you know what I mean.
Right, yeah, it's like more smooth versus I don't have like Megan Roney rasp. She has
soulful. Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean with that.
Yeah, soulful. Okay, that's why I liked R&B music because it has so much soul in it.
Well, but swagger. I hear that. I don't like hearing your voice against the tracks in some of your earlier stuff. Like I get it. I totally understand why you recorded those songs too, because it works. It totally works. Like I'm trying to think of another comparison of an artist that kind of sounds like that. But like you said, SZA and I don't know. I hear a lot of those influences too.
No, for sure.
So you were just talking about I don't want to call it dad rock, but like for the purposes of this, yes. Basically. One of the one of the other videos that you had go viral was a Bruce Springsteen cover. Tell me, what's another what's some of the Springsteen songs that brought you to record that one? Like why specifically?
Well, I was like randomly going. It was again. I go through phases every day. I'll like choose a random artist and hyper fixate on them. But we grew up listening to Bruce's music, especially. We'd always hear the song "The Rising" playing all the time. And just one day I was like, oh, what's my next like? I want to do like a cover song, but like I wanted to like an oldie. So. And I just saw Bruce's Spotify, and his top song was "Dancing in the Dark," and I was like, And it was so catchy. I'm like, gosh, this song's so catchy. And I started listening to the lyrics. I'm like, oh, this song is so special. This writing is amazing. Oh my gosh. I was like, I gotta do a version of this on my Stratocaster. And posted it on TikTok and then Instagram, which it's Instagram. If y'all know, it's the hardest to grow on Instagram. You like have to go viral in order to like have your followers go up for some reason. So it went even more viral on Instagram, which is wild. And it's just cool that the music, even if it's cover songs, it's reaching like the masses. It's not like so niche where it's just this one pocket of one community of people listening. Like that's the goal, is to have our music be loved and heard by the masses of people.
Exactly right. Well, and I heard you speak on another podcast about kind of how you wanted your music to be timeless and I don't want to say genre-less, but like, you know what I mean? Just a little more outside the box where it's not pigeonholed into one containing thing. So let's talk more about your original stuff because, you know, we talked a little bit about the singles that you released this past year. What's on the horizon for Madison Hughes as far as original music goes?
Yeah. So when I moved to Nashville a year in, like one of my best writer friends, his name is Rich Deans. He lives in New Jersey, but travels to Nashville a lot. We've done so many just co-writes, and he has some songs, like The Heartbreak Kid was an example of one that he wrote for me to sing. So that's a cool scenario when you have someone that likes writing more than singing, that can write you that perfect song. But so we have a lot of co-writes that we recorded. It's just a matter of, you know, how do we package them out and release them the right way for the figuring out the whole release strategy, because apparently that matters or something like that. Like you can't just put it on Spotify and just, oh, that's all you need to do. But I definitely like, he gets it in terms of like what songs I like. Like a lot of people in Nashville I've worked with, it's they might not understand the direction I'm going for, the vision I have with songs. Like if they, like Rich understands how to make a timeless classic song because he is older and he, you know, grew up on Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan. So that's perfect, you know, because people like with my music, it's like, oh, it's like an old soul. Like that's what I want you to feel when you listen. It's not like, oh, let's go hang out on the beach and get wasted. Like, no, I'm not writing Olivia Rodrigo, Dua Lipa type music.
I know what you mean. Yes, for sure.
But yeah, as far as like certain, like when to release, that is one thing I would like to know what How? Oh god! Like they're like, you need a PR person and you need this and that publicist. I'm like, okay, I don't have $20,000 a month to spend on this, so there's got to be another way.
I mean, I feel like with us been sorry, my gosh, do that again. With us talking about like TikTok and Instagram, like you really don't though. Like we're living in the age where
hopefully not.
I don't know. It's kind of like if you have, I don't know, a really good video or like a really good set of posts that kind of promote what you do, like you don't need a PR person. You don't need somebody like, pushing it for you if you're pushing it yourself.
This is part of PR.
Yes,
right here.
Exactly. Right. Like that's what I'm doing. But it's just, I don't know, in a way, like for me, learning from artists and hearing your story, and I don't know, it's like a joy of mine to like share the stories of others. Whereas like if this was a job, I don't think I'd like it as much. I think I'd get bogged down.
That's what scares me about like record deals, because then it becomes like, yeah, it's like same as going to school for music. That's why I dropped out of Belmont and went to Florida State, because I got scared. Like, oh no, music's going to become my job. I've just done this for fun.
Exactly. We talked a little bit about how you do your own video recordings and editing and that kind of stuff. But that's what you went to school for. You went for video production, right?
Yeah, and the longest time in my college years, like when I wasn't making SoundCloud music, I was like obsessed with the football team and like wanted to make hype videos for the football players. And I was just obsessed with sports and everything. And it's weird. Yeah. It's weird how music didn't really come to life again until recently. So I'm very glad I did not give up on it.
That's right. And if you love it, it's always going to stay true to you, and it's going to stick around. Yeah, for sure. Speaking sports, oh my gosh, this is me derailing the conversation. But how sad is it that Travis is just injured and
oh my gosh, we were doing so good.
We were. And now I will say, like, okay, this is a mega tangent. So audience out there, I'm sorry. But like, I think we'll be okay against the Gators this week and
that's right.
in the championship. But
oh my gosh.
Florida's always our tough competition, though.
Is it a Tallahassee game or a Gainesville game?
No, it's in the swamp. Yeah, so that's gonna be yikes. But it'll be okay. I think it'll be fine. I think Rodemaker's been with us for so long, he'll just kind of step up to the plate. I think it's his time. I just hate that he had to get there this way,
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. And since we're on the subject of football, I saw that you sang the national anthem at a Jags game recently. Tell me about that experience too.
That was so cool. That was the home opener versus Kansas City. And no, Taylor Swift was not there. Everyone was spreading rumors. That was like one of the most challenging performances ever, because number one, it was the first time I had to use like the little earpiece. And the echo was so echoey. It's like I was trying to sing passionately, which I was, but towards the end, when you have to time it so that the jets are flying over after you finish a song, I was too slow, and so anyway. But I don't want to be too critical of that whole thing. But other than that, it was the coolest thing ever. It's like my screensaver on my phone. Oh, that's so cool. It's like that. Just will never. Nothing will be cooler than that. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like a very. I bet it's daunting though. Like you were just talking about timing it with the Jets and standing in front of all those adoring fans of the Jags.
Just cool.
Man.
It's just like learning in life. Like my mom always said, you can do anything growing up, and it's so true. Like you literally have to just keep knocking and keep emailing people. And I found the person who runs the anthem and asked. So,
So that's how that went. You just said, "Can I sing it?" And they were like, "Yeah."
And then, I mean, you just say, you can maybe name drop. Oh, I was on The Voice. Blah blah blah. I don't really say that anymore because it's kind of old now. But yeah, you make stuff happen for your life.
That's how it goes. Oh my gosh. No, I love hearing that though, because sometimes it's just, I don't know, especially, I don't know. I'm glad that you're getting the recognition and that you're kind of paving your own way, because it's so impressive. Thanks. And I don't know if people tell you that or not, not enough, but wow, like hearing this now is like incredible to me. That's so cool.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Even with like newspaper stuff, sometimes like you have to have you have to email the news writer like, hey, here's the story, because they don't always have to go looking out for stories. They want someone to come to them anyway.
Right. Yeah. That's so true. So true. Well, so okay, we've bounced around a lot today, but I think I'm gonna like wrap this up a little bit with, talk to me about what you think your 5-year plan would be. So like if you had a say, which it sounds like you've had all the say so far, if you could just pick and choose how you wanted the rest of these years for the next 5 years to go, what would happen for you?
Yeah. Let's see. So hopefully this album and EP get dropped in 2024. And then I want to still write a bunch of more songs with people, like have those stocked up, really narrow in on like what is Madison Hughes' sound? You know how like you hear a Chris Stapleton song or a Morgan Wallen song, you know those are different things. So it's like really honing in, like building from the ground up, like my foundation. And then I would love to get on some 5-year plan, but this next year we'll love to do like opening slots for people on tour. And then 5 years from now, I feel like I could be definitely maybe performing at the Opry stage. Maybe Grammy. No, kidding, but not kidding.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Have my own bar on Broadway. that's like 20-year plan.
That'd be so fun though. Oh my gosh. What would your vibe be like in a bar on Broadway? Like how would that?
Oh my gosh.
You know, because I feel like you go in Luke's.
It would make it look like Jacksonville, Florida inside. We would have
perfect. We have like a golf course.
Yeah. You'd have golf course inside. You've had pickleball inside.
I love that.
Jaguars all over the walls. Palmetto trees all over the walls.
That'd be so cool.
But I don't know. Definitely like a world tour 5-year plan. That would be great because there's so many people in Europe that love country music too.
Yes, no idea. And Australia. Like,
yes, what is up with that?
Oh
Canada,
my gosh.
Australia. Shout out to y'all.
Agreed, absolutely. Well, oh my gosh, no, that's good to hear all these plans that you have, and I can't wait to kind of follow along and see how these come to fruition because, things have just kind of skyrocketed within the past couple months. So, yay, the momentum's gonna keep on going.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Of course. Is there anything else that you'd like to promote or shout out before we hop off today?
Promote or shout out? Shout out to the fans because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, and I'm making music for y'all. So let's keep going.
That's right. Keep it up, girl. Okay, country music fans out there, thanks for tuning in to this episode with Madison Hughes, and you heard it here on Coda Country Chats. Have a good day. Thank you again.